Echoes of the Forgotten. The abandoned asylum stood on the outskirts of town, a haunting silhouette against the moonlit sky. Its once white walls had faded into gray, and its windows, like eyes that had witnessed too much, stared out into the night with a vacant gaze. The wind whispered secrets as it swept through the decaying corridors, carrying with it the echoes of forgotten tales. Alice had always been drawn to the mysteries that lurked in the shadows. She had heard the rumors, the stories of a place where the boundaries between sanity and madness blurred like watercolors in the rain. The asylum beckoned her, its twisted allure irresistible. As the moon hung low in the sky, casting its pale glow on the world, Alice stood before the asylum's imposing entrance. With a mixture of trepidation and curiosity, she pushed open the heavy wooden door, its rusty hinges groaning in protest. Inside, the air was heavy with the scent of dampness and decay. Moonlight filtered through broken windows, casting elongated shadows that seemed to dance with the wind. Alice's footsteps echoed through the hallways, a symphony of anticipation and unease. Her exploration led her deeper into the asylum's heart. The walls bore the marks of time and solitude, graffiti from restless souls who had long sought solace within these walls. Flickering lights cast eerie patterns on the cracked floors, and Alice's breath caught in her throat as she stepped into a grand hall, a space that had once been a haven of healing, now a chamber of forgotten whispers. In the center of the hall stood an old piano, its keys worn from the touch of countless fingers. Alice approached it, her fingers hesitating over the keys as if awaiting a forgotten melody. And then, as if guided by an unseen force, she began to play, a haunting tune that seemed to emerge from the depths of the asylum's history. As the notes filled the hall, the air itself seemed to shimmer with memories long suppressed. Alice's fingers moved of their own accord, as if the music was a conduit to the stories that the walls had kept hidden. And then, in the midst of her playing, the music faltered, a single discordant note echoing through the air. A chill swept over Alice, and she turned, her heart racing. In the doorway stood a figure, a woman in tattered white, her eyes hollow and haunted. Alice's breath caught, for the woman seemed to flicker like a candle's flame in the wind. "Who are you?" Alice's voice trembled, the music's melody still echoing in her ears. The woman's gaze held a depth of sorrow that seemed to touch the very soul. "I am Lily," she whispered, her voice like a distant echo. "I was one of the forgotten, trapped within these walls." Alice's heart ached with a mixture of sympathy and fear. "Why are you here?" Lily's lips curled into a melancholic smile. "The asylum holds more than just bricks and mortar. It holds the memories of those who lived and suffered within its confines." As Lily spoke, the air seemed to grow heavier, the shadows deeper. Around them, the walls seemed to come alive, the voices of the forgotten rising like a chorus of ghosts. Each note that Alice had played was a key that unlocked the asylum's history, a symphony of pain and despair that had been silenced by time. Lily's gaze locked onto the piano, and with a whisper of longing, she stepped forward. Her fingers brushed the keys, and as if guided by her touch, the piano continued the melody, a sorrowful lament that seemed to bridge the gap between the living and the departed. As the music swelled, the walls themselves seemed to tremble, the asylum's history bleeding into the present. Faces appeared in the shadows, faces that had long been erased from the world's memory. Their eyes held a plea, a yearning to be heard, to be acknowledged. Alice watched in awe and horror as the asylum's inhabitants, both living and spectral, became one in their shared pain. The music reverberated through the corridors, carrying with it the weight of forgotten tales. And then, as abruptly as it had begun, the music ceased. The room fell silent, the figures fading into the darkness like mist in the morning sun. Only Lily remained, her form dissipating like smoke. "Remember us," Lily's voice lingered in the air, a bittersweet whisper that danced on the edge of perception. As the moon's glow waned, Alice stood alone in the hall, the echoes of the forgotten etched into her memory. She had borne witness to the asylum's history, a tale of anguish and resilience that had been hidden from the world's gaze. And as she stepped back into the moonlit night, the asylum's walls seemed to exhale a final sigh, a sigh of release, of acknowledgement. The echoes of the forgotten lingered in the air, a haunting melody that would forever resonate in Alice's heart.